Hey guys, it's Pierre from Spyder TV. Well, today we have a really cold day where I live in the province of Quebec, Canada. It's about minus 30 degrees outside. I'm in my dad's garage. You're starting to recognize the setup. We've done a couple of videos. Well, this one we thought today we'd share with you a Plasti Dip project. We decided to take all three mags off my Can Am Spyder, and we're actually just going to Plasti Dip them. So my dad's already hard at work on preparation. Here's our video. I know it's been done before. You got tons of videos on YouTube, but you know, we thought it'd be fun, and this is what we're bringing to you. Well, for this step, you're going to need a tools and parts cleaner. Now, this is where you got to really take your time and make sure you do it right. You got to be ready to scrub with your cloth and with your brush as soon as you put it on, because most of these things, they are like a spray and evaporates really, really fast. So get ready to work as soon as you put it on, and generous. Don't worry about it. You can be very generous with this. For the second part of this project, we're going to be using some alcohol. This is 50% alcohol. It actually goes on after you've degreased everything. This is the final step to make sure that your surfaces are really, really clean. It's really important before you go ahead with a Plasti Dip. When doing the rims, it's important to go around the edges, because you're going to have Plasti Dip here and you want that to stick, and that could be really, really easy to forget. So just make sure you use the parts cleaner, and then again, when you go with the 50% alcohol, you just want to go around with a paintbrush and wipe it down. Get that part really clean so you have a nice sharp edge that's going to be coming out when we want to tear away on that Plasti Dip later on. The two parts that you can see here right now are from the windshield of my 2010 RTS. They come chrome, so we're actually going to go all black out, because I already have the windshield black out from wrapmyspyder.com. So we're going to go ahead and do these. These are really, really shiny now. Why? Because we use the alcohol on it, and it really cleaned them up really nice. A little trick that we can share with you is for your Plasti Dip cans, before your first application, maybe take a bucket of hot water, not boiling hot, but hot enough for, you know, you could wash your hands, but put the cans inside the hot water. What it's going to do is going to make the paint warm up, and it's going to build pressure inside, and it's going to make for an easier application. So for this step, we're up to the tape and the little Rolodex card. Remember these from the old days? Before we had cell phones, Rolodex cards. So they're going to be very handy. We're going to put these around the rim so we don't get any paint in the places that we don't want paint, especially on the tire. So, and there's a little trick to this. You don't want to go this way. You want to go this way. Dad's got his own technique going on here, and they're all going this way because it's easier to use more of them, but then you can really get into those tight turns. So here we go. For this step, this is where the fun starts. First coat of Plasti Dip. Like we said before, I'm no master of this, but one thing I can tell you, on the indication on the can and from the people I've talked with, we want to be about 10 to 12 inches away when you start spraying. When you don't do this very often, it's easy to forget that you really need to be about 10-12 inches away when you do this. And I got a tendency to go into about 6 and 8 inches. And my dad on the other side gave me a stick to give me a gauge of how far I should be for this. And to be honest, sometimes you feel that you're a little too far away, but then you're just right. You got to look at the spray and the way that it just falls gently. And you're going to be putting on about 7 to 8 coats of this. So I mean, there's no rush into getting all the paint on there at the same time, because it's going to end up running on the chrome that we have here. So I think the hardest part of this project and your biggest challenge is to be able to get into all the nooks and crannies and on the inside, like right here, without getting too much paint on top here. You're going to need to get on in here, and that's going to be challenging because we're no expert by any stretch of the imagination. And you can see here, even on the first coat, we kind of forgot to come over here once again. So, but we're going to be taking our time. We got 7 or 8 coats to go. And I think patience is going to be the biggest benefit. One of the things that you're going to notice is that on the first coat, it doesn't look very pretty. It feels like the paint wants to run on it because you still got that gray surface in the back and you didn't put a primer at the start. So the first coat is a little bit like putting on a primer. Second and third coat is going to be much easier. By your third coat, you should start looking, for me, because it's a chrome mag, I'm looking for those gray areas. And when I find them, I just go lightly, just little touches to make it a uniform black. Fourth and fifth coat are gonna give it that richness, and you're really gonna see what the final product is gonna look like. But keep going. 6th and 7th coat. This is the time. Your bike's already apart. You've taken the mags off. It's not the time to rush anything. There's a couple of things that are going to make a big impact on the success of doing a good job. The first one is patience. You got to be patient and take the time to clean those wheels, the mags, really good. And I mean, if you want your paint to stick to it, then you got to take the time. The other thing I found was going little per coat. So I've seen people and I've heard people do it in 3 or 4 coats. I went all the way up to 8 coats for the outside and 5 coats for the inside of the mags. The reason I did that is that I was worried, not having a steady hand and not being a professional at this, that I would put too much paint on. So I decided to put less paint, let it dry, and then come again. And that allowed me to see all the little spots where I had missed on the previous coats and touch those up without putting too much paint. So that was a key for me. The other one was well taped. So you got to take the time to put those little cardboard, those little cards all the way around and put the tape so you make it nice and you take your time. It's an easy project. I mean, the hard part is actually, lifting up the Spyder, taking off the wheels and the rear tire. I have a friend that's really good at it. So he actually took off the rear tire for me and gave it to me so I could work with it. Otherwise, you'll need to go to the garage and get that done as well. So you might, calculate you're going to lose a weekend by the time you get this done. You want to leave, the tire for about 48 hours without touching it, and I think that's key as well. So once you've finished everything, we've got a fireplace going, so we're actually going to, in the basement, so we're actually going to take the tires and put it next to the fireplace, make sure we really cook that plastic and that paint so it doesn't come off. Another little trick that I have for you is that you probably didn't see this on the tape, but I would rotate my tire every time I would give it a different coat. I would simply rotate the tire to make sure that I get into all the nooks and crannies. So over 8 coats, that tire spun around 2 times and I was getting from all different angles. And I really think that made a big difference to getting an even coat and getting all the nooks and crannies. So this was my little project for the day. I hope you enjoyed. Do I like the final result? I love it. I think it's all blacked out. It's a tendency today. Everybody wants to go all black out. BRP has caught on with that, and it's got their own mags that are black. I think they come out on the RTS. I saw it in a cognac color with all blacked out, and I thought it would look really good. This is a cheap way. I went through about 4 cans for 2 mags, inside and out. We actually did 8 coats on the outside and about 4 or 5 coats on the inside because on the Can Am Spyder, it's not like a car. When you're in the V-nose there, you actually see the 2 wheels, the inside of the wheels when you're standing in front of the bike. So we thought it was important to do a couple of coats there. I also did, for the windshield, and those pieces came out really nice. So I can't wait to put it all back on the bike and start riding. Spring is upon us. In about 35 days, we should be up and running. So once again, thanks for watching, guys. My name is Pierre, and you're watching Spyder TV.